Good afternoon, everyone. It's my pleasure to welcome you all to this insightful session on the topic diverse teaching strategies enhancing learning for all. As educators, we all strive to create an engaging, inclusive, and an effective learning atmosphere for all our learners. With the landscape of education continuously evolving, it is very crucial for us to look for innovative strategies that will develop a deeper understanding, foster critical thinking, and also involve active participation of our students. In today's session, let us delve into a variety of teaching strategies, right from inquiry-based learning, differentiated instruction, technology integration, and also collaborative methodologies, what with the goal of equipping ourselves with the practical tools that will enhance the student engagement and also the learning outcome. I hope this session would be enhancing for you all. Let us start. What are we going to see in this session? So here, the objective says that strategies and implementation and measuring impact of the diverse teaching strategies. Diverse teaching strategies, what do you mean by that? By this, we say the teachers modify, there are different learning strategies by which we make the learners suitable and understand the content and learn with fun. Let us see the different kinds of strategies over here. When you see this one shows, the slide shows the different strategies. Lecture-based learning. The lecture-based learning is the one which we always use in the classroom to deliver the content. Visual, children learn through charts, flashcards, etc. Experiential learning by taking the students for for field trips. We give them the understanding and knowledge of a particular topic, and say we involve them. Active learning involves them in having group discussions and having brainstorming to create and generate ideas with multiple perspectives. Then we have collaborative learning, where again children involved in groups. Then inquiry based learning, we encourage the children to learn by asking questions why. Hands-on learning provides lots of experiments and activities where the children learn by doing. And use of technology integrated with the learning, or say instructional delivery, will enhance the learning well. They make use of different online resources, or e-learning happens through this. And then project-based learning, they make a certain model, they make project, and they have their understanding enhanced. And the last but not the least, we come to differentiated instructions. Differentiated instructions allows the educators to modify their teaching needs or teaching method to cater to the individual needs of all the learners. Let us see in the next slide here why this says, why are they needed? Why these many learning strategies are needed in the modern education? To answer this question, let us have a look on the learning pyramid. The learning pyramid shows the data of the percentage of knowledge that is being retained by the learners. See, the base of the pyramid shows 90% of the learning, or 90% of the content that is delivered in the class is retained through teaching others. That is collaborative learning, peer teaching or peer mentoring comes into it, one of the strategy. Then 75% of the learning is by doing hands-on activity, demonstration. 50% of the knowledge is retained by discussing with their peers. Again, comes under collaborative learning. 30% demonstration. It is like active learning or hands-on experiment, or say experiential learning. These are all the strategies which include this demonstration, and 20% by audio visual. We see a video, we see a diagram, or we see a visual, we see a flashcard, we listen to an audio clip, we listen to the lecture. All these things comes under this audio visual, but the retention of the knowledge gained is only 20%. Then by reading a content, again we retain 10%, and at the last comes the lecture-based method. Only 5% of the knowledge that is gained in the 5% of the knowledge that is being delivered in the content in the class is only retained. So now you can understand why we need these many strategies for the teaching learning process. Now let us understand the importance of these diverse approaches. So what does this say? Just a minute. What does this say? The importance. First of all, different learners will be learning with the different styles. They will be having different learning styles. As I discussed in the previous slide, some of them are very good by watching a video or learning through visuals. Some of them are very good at writing essays, or very good at reading some novel and then expressing their ideas. Like that, here this different strategies will address their different learning styles, and they make the students actively participate in their learning. So it enhances the active learning. Then it promotes critical thinking and problem solving. Critical thinking and problem solving is a kind of this learners analyze a situation, evaluate and generate new ideas. They form multiple perspectives, and they find different solutions for a particular problem. So it enhances the problem solving, and it promotes the problem solving, and it enhances the critical thinking, and also the student participation. Here, the student participate actively in the learning process rather than sitting and taking the information passively. So this encourages the student participation and also supports inclusive education. Inclusive education in a class of diversified learners. Here, different children will be coming from different cultural background. So here, through these activities, we give equal opportunities, and we treat all the students fair in the classroom, so that they get equal access to all the learning materials to have their learning taking place effectively. Then, as we saw in the learning pyramid, the retention and understanding of the concept is much more. The percentage retention is much more when we make use of this diverse teaching strategies rather than the rote learning and the lecture method. Going further, we also address the individual needs. Here, diverse method means it addresses the unique needs of the learners, and it makes the students equally engaged in their learning. So it promotes engagement, and it promotes equity, that is from various cultural backgrounds or various learning abilities. All the children are given equal opportunity to have a proper access to all the learning materials, and it incorporates cultural responsiveness. What do you mean by cultural responsiveness? By cultural responsiveness, I will answer in the next slide. Let us see. Here, these are all the key aspects of cultural responsiveness. Cultural responsiveness is nothing but understanding one's culture, understanding the tradition and beliefs in their culture, and also understanding, respecting the other's culture also, and modifying or adapting your communication style and your behavior that will be suitable for all this when you are interacting with the people with the different cultural backgrounds. Let us analyze, let us see the key aspects of this cultural responsiveness. First one is self-awareness. As I said, it gives you a better understanding, and it reflects on the cultural beliefs of your own culture, and the cultural biases also, and the assumptions that is there in because of the culture. Then you gain insight about learning different cultures. You try to adapt, or you try to respect their cultural beliefs and traditions. Then you adapt, you modify your behavior, your communication styles, or your teaching methods, or any practices that will suit that particular context. Then you empathize, you start recognizing, or you start appreciating the experience and perspectives of others, which is very, very important and needed. Then coming to the equity and advocacy. Here we promote equity. This equity comes again and again because it is much needed in effective delivery and proper student engagement, because through equity only we can give equal fair chances to all the students in the classroom, so that they learn with fun. So here we, sorry. So here we promote through equity and advocacy, we promote fairness also in all the environments, mostly in the classrooms. And it is not only to the students, but also to the teachers when they are working in their workplaces. Going ahead, it addresses the different learning style. Different learning style. Let me just explain you in concise, like VARK, V-A-R-K. What do you mean by VARK? Some, that is visual learning style. Then auditory, listening to audio visual learners, we group them like that. Some they listen to the speech or talks or discussion and they retain their knowledge. Then reading and writing, reading a novel, writing essays, and then kinesthetic. So you do the activity and you have your learning understood very well. So these are the different learning styles that needs to be addressed in the class, and the diverse strategies addresses these learning styles, and that is why they are important. Coming to the, say, differentiated instruction. Differentiated instructions again, as I said in the first slide. Why is differentiated instruction important? As with the class has so many diversified learners learning with the different learning abilities, here it is very, very important to follow this differentiated instruction, because it makes us tailor our teaching methods and the material to meet their individual needs, their abilities, so that each of the student has equal access to their learning content, and we make them engage with the learning very effectively. This is very, very important. Let us explore more about the differentiated instruction. So differentiated instruction is the effective strategy of all the things which we saw in the previous slide. For understanding differentiated instructions in a better way, we need and implement it in the classroom. We need to first have a thorough understanding of the different learning style of our learners, or we need to have a proper understanding of our learners. That is, we need to assess them through some written assessment or through observation, so that we get to know about their strengths and weaknesses. Once we assess the kind of the learners in our classroom, we need to also plan. We need to plan our instructions properly, so that tailor to the needs of their learners. And then we need to have the varied activities incorporated in our planning, and we have it to be implemented in the classroom in a better way, and we can support our learners. For now, further, let us discuss the key aspects of our key aspects of differentiated instruction. First is the content. Content. What do you mean by content? Content is what the students are learning. See, one content is delivered in the class, that might not be always, say, all the students might not be always comfortable with that content. Some of them might be finding it very difficult. Some of them might be finding it very easy, or some of them it will be moderately, it will be difficult for them. So in that case, how can we cater to the needs of our learners? So here we have to break the difficulty level. We have to adjust the difficulty level. Like one group will be working on the challenging part of the concept. Another one will be learning only the key points of that particular concept, so that the learning happens simultaneously without hampering the learning process, and the content what that needs to be known by the students are delivered properly. Then coming to the process. A process is how the students learn. Content is what the students learn, and process is how the students are learning. How are they going to learn? Again, here the different learning styles of the learners come into play. Some of them can be given audio clipping. Some of them can be shown say video. Some of them can be asked to write an essay, understand, or giving a reading a particular content to read and understand. And some of them can also be given an assistant or support of the technology, so that they can create websites, they can create presentation, or they can create any material through the assistance of the technology. And this is how the learning happens. So this is how the students learn in a diversified classroom with the differentiated instruction. Coming to the product. Product is how the students demonstrate. Content is delivered in the class, and process, how the students all learned, that is also is done. Now we have to see how the students are demonstrating, going to demonstrate what they have understood. That again, we can have a flexibility into it. One group can be those who are very good in presentation. They can be asked to give a presentation on that particular topic. Let the students select the topic on that particular content, and then that is, there might be subtopics also. So the students allow the students to select the topic. One group can give a presentation, one group can write an essay, one group can make a video, one group can have the diagrams drawn with a mind map. This is how they can present it. This is how they are presenting, or they are demonstrating. Again, this is there is a flexibility in making them present what they have learned. Now, apart from all these three things, the learning atmosphere is very, very important. Learning environment here, where it says where and with whom the students are learning. So here again, some of the students might be, they are solitary learners. So they might prefer to learn individually, or they might be wanting to work in pairs, or they might be wanting to work in groups. So this encourages collaborative learning. Through this, the students will develop team building skills. They will respect everybody's perspective in their team, and they will stand for their team members. They will support each other, and they will also understand multiple perspectives of a particular topic. So this works wonder with students. Now, all these things we saw, different strategies we saw, and why they are needed, the importance of these strategies we saw. Now, how are we going to implement it in the classroom? This is very, very important to be considered, because that is only the better implementation leads to the effective understanding or the effective learning outcome. Let us see what all things are there that needs to be included in implementation of this learning, in implementation of this strategy. First thing is the mapping of the curriculum. Once you understand, once you assess the learners, and once you select the topic, whatever it is, you have to first create a detailed plan, lesson plan, that meets the set educational standards for them. And in the plan, you have to align the different content, what you're going to deliver in the class as per the needs of the diverse learners. So curriculum mapping is very, very important. Now, based on this, with curriculum mapping as a reference, we have to make it inclusive curriculum design. What do you mean by inclusive curriculum design? So here, once the lesson plan, a detailed lesson plan is developed, we need to have diverse perspectives to be integrated in the lesson plan, and the learning styles, different learning styles of the learners have to be kept in mind, and that also has to be integrated in the lesson plan. So here, when you are making the plan, we should see that it gives equal, that is, it is all the learners are considered fair or treated fairly in the classroom, giving them access to all the learning materials and all the opportunity. They are not deprived of all the opportunities in the classroom. Going further, we developed the lesson plan, and it is inclusive. The inclusive design is also there handy with us. Now, how are we going to implement it in the classroom? So there are few techniques which we need to follow in the classroom. That is, we have to manage it in the classroom. First thing is understanding the behavior. First you have to create a positive learning atmosphere. Positive learning atmosphere can be created only when we understand the students, and if the students demonstrate the desired behavior which we want them to see in that. For that, we need to have a continuous or constant reinforcement. Every day, the desired behavior has to be reinforced in the classroom so that it becomes a practice, and the practice becomes habit, so that the classroom gets turned into a positive learning atmosphere, which is very, very important for the learning in the classroom. Then comes the flexible grouping. As I said previously, some of the students might be wanting to work in groups, or some they prefer learning alone, or some they want to work with their, say, benchmate, or their anyone. That is, they want to work in pair. So that has to be understood. We have to allow them to get themselves grouped as per their strengths, their individual needs, because through this, we can work on their personal learning. It enhances their learning experiences, personalized learning experiences, and it adds value to the diversified classroom. Coming to the next one, that is adaptive learning environments. So flexible grouping is done. Positive atmosphere is created. Now, how we can have the learning atmosphere, the entire layout of the class. We can have the technology also integrated in the classroom, and we can make the students, sitting in different workstations we can create, and we can make the students work in that particular workstation, like one of them sitting in circle, one of them, the arrangement can be, a U-shaped. The chairs can be put in a U-shaped form, or some place can be available in the center of the classroom, so that the students can perform role play. Like that, we can have the flexible arrangements done, so that this classroom is completely designed or completely taken care for the proper delivery and implementation of the different strategies. Now, when we are deciding the classroom, when we are deciding on the classroom, many things, other things that needs to be considered are, first is, all the students needs to be, say, valued. They think they should have that in their mind, that they are valued member of the class, and they are also developing that belongingness. They develop belongingness to the classroom, to the particular class. Then here we understand, empathize them. We understand their thoughts. We validate their experiences, so that we have to empathize on them. Then coming to the respect, every learner in the classroom have to be treated with respect. Once all these things are taken care, then it is the inclusive classroom space ways for wonderful learning experience to all the learners. Respect, empathy, and inclusion needs to be considered while setting up of the setting up the classroom atmosphere. Now, make your learning more interactive. Even though you use different strategies, you have to make the learning more interactive by more engaging methods. There are many difficult topics. Example, if you take science, there are lots of, in chemistry, the formula, learning of the formulae becomes very difficult, equations becomes difficult, or the properties of particular element becomes very, very difficult. So in that case, how can you make the learning so easy? You can ease out the learning, and also you can you can make the learning fun is by gamification. That is to have the games like solving the puzzles, fixing the puzzles, having the role play, make the students disguise themselves as one particular element. And each one, say, suppose if you are going to talk about 10 elements, 10 students will be selected from the class, and they will be given one element. Each one of them have to learn the properties, and they have to demonstrate it in front of the class, them presenting themselves as the element. This again, it works wonders. Then fixing the puzzles, then playing the crossword game in the classroom. All this will add up to an enhanced learning experience, so that the learning difficulty level becomes reduced well, and it will also increase the retention, asking them to present their project of the content also will help in making the learning interactive and also engaging. Next thing we talk about the classroom technique is collaboration and peer learning. From the learning pyramid, 90% of the knowledge gets retained in the learners because through this peer teaching only, that is teaching others. So collaboration and peer teaching, it is it's very, very helpful, and it supports the learner in having a better understanding and having a better interactive and retention of the concept. So here, through group work, that can be done through group work, peer tutoring and discussions. Through the group work, what they do, they discuss with their group members. They have fruitful discussions, and they share their knowledge. They understand different viewpoints, and they also try to respect multiple perspectives, and they support each other for learning. This comes under. So the classroom needs to be having a collaborative atmosphere where all the students are learning together and they support each other. When they share their knowledge, it increases the percentage of knowledge retention in them. Now, technology. We have to use technology for enhanced learning. Even though technology cannot be completely replacing the physical presence of the teaching, here technology has enhanced the learning by the availability of different resources for learning and also teaching. This is for both the students and also the teacher. There are lots of interactive learning apps available, educational apps available for the learners also and for the teachers also. Then online resources are available. A plethora of wealth of resources are available online, where you have access to as many resources as possible to support your understanding, to have a deeper knowledge of the particular concept that is being taught in the classroom. Then collaboration tools, it works on improving your communication and also the teamwork. The team building skills always gets enhanced when you are working in groups or working in team. Let us see what all the educational apps and online resources are available. These are the, I've just integrated all this thing available resources in one particular table. You can see most of the, some of the, this is all for the students also and for the teachers also. Most of the things are available free, and they are a paid version also available. But with the free version only, we can have lots of we can have lots of access, and we have lots of support material available, lots of resources available that will support your teaching also. It will upgrade your teaching also. At the same time, it will enhance the way you deliver it in the classroom. So you can have a look of these educational apps and online learning platform, which will aid the understanding of the students and also the teachers. Fine. We have learned, we got the knowledge of the different strategies. We have implemented in the classroom. Now, how do you know that it has been effectively implemented? So we need to measure the impact of this in the students. How are we going to measure the impact? For that, we need to have the assessment done. That is formative assessments, summative assessments. And once the assessments are done, then we'll have to give the feedback so that the children, the students can compare their learning, compare their understanding, and make it better, improving their concepts by the feedback they get from the educator. Formative assessment. Formative assessments are mostly informal. Formative assessments are mostly Formative assessments are mostly informal assessments, which is taken ongoing. It is done after to check the student understanding after you complete one particular topic. So here, this formative assessments will guide the learners, guide the teachers also, as well as the learners also, and it provides a feedback for them to improve the understanding of the particular topic. When coming to this is formative assessments is taken as you complete one particular topic. Coming to the summative assessment, summative assessment is somewhat structured assessment, which includes comprehensive, it is comprehensive, say evaluation, if you say, where it includes the higher order thinking skills, then middle order thinking skills, and also lower order thinking skills. It tests the children on application, case-based, and also knowledge and retention, knowledge and understanding. So it has a structured format. So that is taken at the end of a particular teaching period, maybe after a term of say 3 months or say 6 months. Now, this will measure the learning against a set standard. A particular standards are there. And then when the test scores are got, we have the grades on them, and we classify the students as per their grades, and we get the understanding of the status of the learners. So that is given through the feedback, student feedback mechanism, that can be done in the form of survey, or it can be given in the form of the bar graph, so that their students can compare their progress in the previous summative exams or in the previous assessment or successful assessment, so that they get to know where they are lacking and the strengths and weakness. They are work on their weaknesses and they can improve further. This is not only for the students, but through these assessments and the feedback, the teacher will get a proper insight of the effectiveness of their delivery, and they will reflect on themselves, and they can modify their lesson plans. Like before you plan a lesson, curriculum mapping, before you plan a lesson, what all you considered. Now, that after you deliver it in the class, or while you are delivering it in the class, what all the challenges you faced. After you deliver it in the class, what challenges. So like that, you can have so many questions to reflect on yourself, so that your teaching methods also can change as per the feedback or as per the grades and the test scores the students have scored on in the assessments. Now, after this, the assessments are done, feedback is given. Now, how will you have the student engaged and also achieve? How will you track their achievement and the student engagement? For that, we need to have the tracking of the student engagement. That involves, we have to monitor the student. Once the assessment is done, this feedback is given, we'll have to see whether the student is attentive in the class and they are participating in the class, and whether they are interested in the class activities. And also, in case if they are not interested, we have to identify, we have to talk to them, we have to identify the barriers which prevent them from being actively involved in the classroom. We have to address it and support them so that the student can work on their weaknesses to convert it into the strengths. Then after that, we have to also analyze their academic performances. The academic performance, when it is analyzed, what does it say? It comes with the grade, the test scores, and also the project, what they had submitted, the outcomes of the project. Now here, through assessing this will help us to assess the effectiveness of the teaching methodologies or the teaching practices or the delivery in the classroom, so that the teaching becomes better, implementation becomes better, the delivery of the content becomes better, so that the understanding of the student becomes deeper. What are the long-term benefits? What are the long-term benefits of knowing this diversified strategies? First of all, it helps in the lifelong learning skills. What are the lifelong learning skills are nothing but the critical thinking, problem solving, and adaptability that will support your continuous improvement and your knowledge acquisition. These are the lifelong competency that are developed when we apply or implement these strategies, or when we make use of these diverse strategies. Coming to bridging the achievement, reducing the achievement gaps. There might be some learning gaps due to some disparities that is happening in the say academic outcomes among the diversified learners. So we understand that and we try to reduce that gap so that the learning becomes much more effective. Now, promoting global citizenship. Here this involves, we have to nurture the understanding and appreciation of the cultural appreciation, understanding of the cultural appreciation and the social responsibility. And also we need to be aware of things that is happening globally. That is what is said by the global interconnectedness. All these things are achieved, or these are the long-term benefits we get by implementing or making use of these learning strategies. Now, in conclusion, we say, let us embrace diversity. Why? For the success, to have improved the learning outcome, become better, to have improved the learning outcome for all our learners. Then equity, giving fair and equal opportunities to all the learners in the classroom. And inclusion, let us welcome and support the learners from diversified cultural backgrounds. Apart from this, what is the next step? What is the next step we can do from this? We can keep on updating ourselves. We can keep on updating ourselves by exploring the diverse teaching methods. We can also seek professional development. We can collaborate with our colleagues. Collaboration is meant for even teachers also. We can collaborate with our colleagues. We can attend webinars. We can attend training sessions. We can also take part in the workshops to share our experiences, gain insights of others' perspectives, and also get used to or get knowledge of other new teaching strategies are available tools so that we can upgrade ourselves to give a better delivery in the classroom. And we can also collaborate with our colleagues, that is peer-to-peer teaching. And also we can take the help of our mentors or coordinators so that we can share the best practices and experiences, and we can foster our professional development, continuous professional development, and support the entire teaching community. With this, I'm coming to the end of this session. I hope this session was enhancing, and it had provided provided the information with all the different strategies. I am an educator who is very passionate about delivering the content in a proper way, nurturing young minds also, and promoting them for lifelong learning. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ms. Chitra. If you can stop sharing the screen, ma'am. I have only one question to ask you, since we have the time constraint. What are some common challenges teachers face with diverse teaching strategies?
Yeah, it's a very good question. Thank you for this question. Here, the teachers with they are limited with their time constraint and also limited resources available. Some of the colleagues might be welcoming for the change in the for accepting the diverse strategy. Some might not be. So it becomes very difficult for them to convince their say parallel teachers, and limited time also, and limited availability of the resources. All these things can be can be considered or can be taken care of by making use of free resources available, and introduce the change very slowly so that the children, the learners, as well as their colleagues get used to it slowly, they get adapted to it, and they have the things done very easily with that.
Thanks a lot, ma'am. Thank you for the talk, and it was a very informative session.
Thank you so much.
Before we end the session, anything else you want to mention, Ms. Chitra?
No, thank you so much for giving me this opportunity. It was really enhancing for me, so that I had got lots of information. I had really researched on the different topics and different strategies. And I have also few of them I have been implementing it in the classroom also. I hope it will be useful for other educators as well.
Of course, ma'am. Thanks a lot. And I'll end the session now. Thank you.